Hello and welcome to another edition of Chrysler's Current Service Information. In today's session, we're going to do something a little different. As the number of cars with multi-point fuel injection increases, the problem of clogged fuel injectors has increased. Now, a number of the nation's oil companies have been addressing this problem. What we have today is a videotape presentation from Exxon Company USA and what they're doing with a motor fuel additive called XCL 12. I'll be back with some final thoughts when it's done.
Today, as the number of cars with multiport fuel injection increases, the problem of fouled fuel injectors has increased. A number of the nation's oil companies have been addressing this problem. Here is what Exxon Company USA has done with a motor fuel additive called XCL 12.
Sometimes when there's an advance in automotive engineering, such as the multi-port fuel injection system, an unanticipated but related problem or side effect can develop that requires a solution. The multiport system is an important advance. It allows engines to use fuel more efficiently, it reduces emissions, and it provides smoother performance. These are the reasons why fuel injection was developed. Gasoline is injected near each of these ports and passes directly into the engine. It is a more efficient system than carburation or throttle body fuel injection, but it is in this multiport system that the fouling problem developed. This sketch will help you see what happens. It is at this point here that the fuel is pumped every fraction of a second into the intake port. And it is also at this point that, in many cases, deposits have formed, clogging the passages and preventing a consistent flow of fuel. This photograph, many times enlarged, shows the deposits on an actual fuel injector. When you consider that the fuel injector passages measure 1/1000th of an inch, it's easy to see how deposits can hamper the flow and cause a variety of drivability problems. Problems such as hesitation, rough idling, stalling, difficult starting, and poor acceleration. In some extreme cases, the car may not run at all, and it can happen very quickly. Some car owners have reported a problem within the first 300 miles, and many within a few months after purchasing the car. Why does it happen? One of the reasons is that the multiport fuel injector is very close to the source of ignition, and therefore gets much hotter than a conventional carburetor or throttle body. And high temperatures can lead to formation of deposits. Another reason is the way the car is driven. We're all familiar with this kind of scene. The severe stop-and-go driving brought about by heavy traffic can cause clogging of injectors. In addition, very hot weather can be a factor too. The problem is worldwide and occurs in many different countries where gasoline compositions vary widely. Obviously, this could not be pinned down to just one set of circumstances, and it was not a problem that was going to go away. It would continue to increase as the number of fuel-injected cars increases. And this number is going up due to the performance benefits gained from fuel injection. For example, this chart shows that in 1985, 17% of all cars, both domestic and imports, had multiport fuel injection. Today, that total has increased to 23%. By 1990, it's predicted that practically all new cars will have fuel injection, many of which will be the multiport system. Because of this increase, and because the problem arose with the multiport injectors, the automakers came to us and asked for our help. How did we go about solving the problem? Well, we knew a solution had to be reached quickly. So we began simultaneous test programs here at the Research Center and on a test track. We ran continuous tests on a number of cars using a number of different formulations of cleaning additives. 9 Oldsmobile 98s were tested 22 hours a day for almost 3 months on the test track. At the end of each driver's shift, the injectors would check for fouling. These cars were purposely driven to subject the engines to the most severe driving conditions. Each car was driven at highway speeds for 20 minutes, then stopped for half an hour to allow hot soak to take place. As you know, what we call hot soak occurs when the engine is turned off and the airflow stops. The temperature of the hood goes up, making conditions favorable for deposit buildup. After 30 minutes, the cars were started again. Run for 30 minutes at low speeds, then stop for another hot soak. When the injectors became fouled, gasoline containing one of the test additives was put in the tank and the procedure was repeated. While these road tests were being run, we also ran cars on control test stands here at the Research Center. 8 Chrysler LeBarons were run around the clock under the same conditions as on the test track. The test stands simulated test track speeds, automatically increasing and decreasing speed, and stopping the cars at regular intervals. When the fuel injectors on these cars fouled, gasoline containing one of the test additives was put in the car, and the test was repeated. After all this testing, using a number of different formulations of our gasoline, one additive emerged as the most effective. We have named it XCL12. In the test, when the XCL12 additive was used, the results were dramatic. Drivability was noticeably improved, usually in 1 tank full, and sometimes in as little as 50 miles. In the road test, drivers quickly perceived the difference. Smooth performance was restored without engine hesitation, rough idling, stalling, or hard starting. Look at the difference between this fouled fuel injector and this one, which was taken from a car after 1 tank full of gasoline containing XCL12. The deposits have practically disappeared. And here you can see the difference in flow between a clean and fouled fuel injector. Both of these fuel injectors were removed from test cars, one of which had been running on gasoline with XCL12, the other on gasoline without the additive. A solvent is used in this apparatus in place of gasoline for safety reasons, but the flow rate gives an accurate comparison between the 2 injectors. The one on the right has been restored to provide like-new drivability. In summary, XCL12 is a fast-acting detergent that cleans up foul multiport fuel injectors and typically restores smooth performance in as little as 1 tank full. And it will keep fuel injectors clean. When used at the outset when a car is new, it prevents fouling of these fuel injectors. XCL12 is an all Exxon branded gasoline sold throughout our marketing area, which covers the Gulf and East Coast states, the Southwest, and the West, including Montana. We believe our XCL12 additive is a viable solution to the injector fouling problems in today's high-tech cars.
As mentioned at the start of this presentation, this is what Exxon Company USA is doing to correct the problem of clogged fuel injectors. We also have a list of other companies who have improved their gasoline to eliminate multi-point injection fouling. One final point before we're done for today. When pulling into a gas station, always check to see that the gas station pumps carry the same brand name as the gas station's sign. Unlabeled pumps can have any brand or quality of gasoline in them. This does vary from state to state. And that concludes our session for today. See you next time on Chrysler's Current Service Information.